Hey guys, Mark here from Little Kitchen Big Food. Today, we're making pizza. We're gonna start with 810 grams of bread flour, 30 grams of kosher salt, 14 grams of sugar into Big Red over here. So in with your flour, your salt, and your sugar. We'll make sure that's well mixed while we tend to our yeast. To that, you're going to add 90 grams of whole wheat flour. Give that the whiskey business. Stir in 27 grams of extra virgin olive oil. With your mixer on low speed, you're going to add your water, oil, and yeast. And let that go until it forms a shaggy dough. You can see after about 2 minutes, the bottom of the bowl is basically clean. Now, you don't want to overwork the dough, because it'll get a little sticky. But now I need to flour my work surface a little bit. So, lightly floured work surface. Lightly floured work surface, and you're going to work this dough until it becomes kind of a smooth ball. A couple minutes, but remember, don't overwork it. All right, as you can see, because I worked it in the stand mixer for as long as I did, it's pretty smooth now. Get you a big enough bowl for that. Some cooking spray. You're gonna plop your bad boy in there like that. And now we wait about 2 hours. 2 hours at room temp or overnight in the fridge.
2 hours later.
And what you do is you divide this up. There. We're gonna divide this up into 3 pieces. About 300 grams each. 350, okay. Ooh, that's a little big. $360, $370, and still big. Okay, we got 4 pieces worth here. And the easiest way for me to show you how to do this, kind of flatten it out. You're going to pull corners in like that, and then bring those other corners up, so you kind of end up with this bottom. Flip it over, and then using your hands, your pinkies constantly in contact with the work surface, you're going to draw back on it like this. And you can see how it's forming this tight ball. And you're going to set that aside and do your next one. Get your proofing box, dust with some flour, and go each of the balls. Like so. Slap a lid on it. And let it sit on the counter for about 3 hours. Our next step is to prepare our toppings. So I've got a couple of different cheeses here. I've got some Parm. I've got some whole milk, low moisture mozzarella. I've got some fresh mozzarella. We're gonna do 1 Hawaiian pizza, so pineapple chunks. We're gonna need ham. We're doing mushrooms, Italian sausage, and onions as well. And we need to make our sauce. All right, for the sauce, you're gonna put a 28-ounce can of crushed San Marzano tomatoes, 4 cloves of garlic, about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, literally a 1/4 teaspoon of sugar, and a 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt. Blitz for 30 seconds. You pour that into your deli container, And that's your pizza sauce. So you've got all three of your cheeses, your tomato sauce, your mushrooms, your onions, your pineapple, your ham. Last step is to cook our sausage, pre-cook it. In this case, we're gonna use just a medium-sized nonstick pan over medium-high heat, mild Italian sausage, and break it up. As you can see, as it cooks, it becomes a little bit easier to break up. Raw, it's kind of hard to break up, but you want to break it up into pieces about as big as that guy right there. And now, as you can see, we've got our three cheeses that we still have to mix, our sauce, which is ready, our sausage, our mushrooms, onions, pineapples, and ham. We're gonna add some confit garlic to it as well because, yeah, why wouldn't you do that? Minutes. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to mix our cheeses together. So that's our whole milk mozzarella, our Parmesan, and our low moisture mozzarella. All right, guys, now what we've got to do is we've got to form the dough into a pizza shape. I got to flatten it out first down here. Once you get it fairly round, you just let your fists kind of stretch it just a little bit. So you end up with about like that, right? And in this case, it's not quite round, but it's round enough, and it's 13.5 inches by 11. So we load it onto our pizza peel, and we're gonna sauce it, top it. First one we're doing is going to be a Hawaiian pizza, and we'll go from there. So we start with some sauce, a little bit more, like right there. So yeah, I did that. Now it's all over my shirt. So now we're sauced. Next is our cheese, and this is our 3 cheese combo: fresh mozzarella, low moisture mozzarella, and parm. And that followed by ham. And this was a ham steak that I diced up, and it works a lot better than like deli meat ham, like for a sandwich. Generally, you don't want to use that. So now we've got ham. And the most controversial step, of course, it's a Hawaiian pizza, so it's got to have pineapple. Some people think pineapple belongs on pizza. Some people don't think pineapple belongs on pizza. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Whether or not you think pineapple belongs on a pizza. This is not my favorite pizza. This is for my mother-in-law, who is currently visiting and likes pineapple pizza. So she gets pineapple pizza. I do like pineapple though. All right, our oven has been preheated to 550 for an hour. And in there is a pizza stone set on the bottom rack. All we gotta do now is put the pizza in the oven for 7 to 8 minutes. Onto the pizza stone goes the pizza, and we'll turn it halfway. All right, guys, we've stopped here, and the reason we have was, one, I didn't record it, and 2, those pizzas all stuck to that pizza stone like it was their job. I was able to get them out, was able to burn a bunch of stuff on the pizza stone, and the pizzas were okay. So here's the deal. One of the steps I'm going to tell you about here that you need to consider is I was using semolina, cornmeal, as the lubricant to get it from the pizza stone, the pizza peel to the pizza stone. And that kind of works. But what we've done 100 times in the past when Mrs. Little Kitchen Big Food and I have made pizza is you make them on parchment. Make them on parchment paper. So we have parchment paper pre-cut, big enough for a half sheet cookie tray. Make each of your pizzas on that. You slide it on, you can turn it in the oven, you can pull it out, and it's 1,000 times easier. I didn't shoot the fails at this point because I was actually trying to feed a group of people with this pizza adjacent crap, but we were able to get it out. I was able to cut it up. I was able to actually, the crust was great except for the parts that stuck to the pizza stone. So lesson learned here, all of the steps up until you see me put the pizza on the pizza peel, do all those. At the pizza peel part, put the pizza on parchment. Mrs. Little Kitchen Big Food told me that before I started this. Because I'm an idiot, I wanted to do exactly what the recipe said to do, and well, now we're here, talking about it here, versus watching me shove a piece of pizza into my fat face. So parchment paper is your friend in this case. It can definitely tolerate the oven at 550, and these pizzas were really good, other than they kind of stuck and the crust was super thin in the middle. But this is my first time actually hand forming the crust. I thought they turned out okay for not being Italian and not being a pizza guy and not being a cook. I share this with you today because, look, even guys like Babish and Weissman, they drop the ball. They screw the pooch on this stuff, but they're not making it to feed a family. They're making it to feed a YouTube community of millions of followers, and I'm actually trying to feed a family. When I fail at this, then we have to pivot and order out or remake. So, that being said, this was the end of the pizza making process here, and other than the parchment, the sticking issue here, the pizza was really good. Go give this a try. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.